Hi, welcome and welcome back. We're going to get into part two from accessing your creative wisdom into applying your creative wisdom. And so, creative wisdom is this sense that we're able to take what it is that we see in life, what it is that we contemplate, and move that wisdom through our creativity and build things, create things that have this essence about life that transcends mostly for us and then hopefully for the greater gift of the world. But this sense that we have this wisdom within us that helps others process, understand, and move through emotions and thoughts in life. And so, in order for us to access our creative wisdom, we need to get into this level of contemplation. And this level of contemplation has two parts to it. And so in part one, we talked about how to access it by being in the quiet of life and being in the quiet of life in a way that we feel as if we're one with life and life's nature. And we figure out a way, we carve out time and space, and we allow ourselves to get into this place where we can remove ourselves from the outer world and sort of go through this hallway to this door that we want to open up and access, which is this internal place inside of us to access this wisdom. We want to get into these quiet contemplative states. Contemplation in this secondary state is this mystical activity. It might look on the outside as if nothing's happening, but actually it's a very active participatory experience in your interior world. And it's through this level of contemplation that we start receiving visions and we start activating these insights. And we receive these insights so that we can start activating them. And we never really know when we get into contemplative states if the big idea is going to come and we're going to be inspired. But what we do with practice, like the mystic and the artist does, is that we allow for the space and time, which is really the essence of living life, and just allowing for the moments to be absorbed, allowing for the spaces in between the light and the shadow, and being able to contemplate, articulate the meaning of life, and be able to transfer that feeling and that essence that we have when we're one with nature, one with life, one with all and everything, and insert it, interject it into the things that we create that have a more energetic emotional ripple effect. It has its own frequency to it. I think that's some of the masterpieces that are created out there have this sort of infused energetic injection that create masterpieces. And it's not really something that the artist or the mystic understands. They're just simply conduits and advocates for the divine. And so when we think about our spiritual nature, it's very much so in our artistic endeavors and our artistic nature, and they're one and the same. So, with the practice of contemplation and establishing this grounding within, this grounding of the soul that we connect back to, we start to establish this communication with life consciousness. And so, I'm going to use the word source, kind of beyond universe, but that idea that what we're trying to tap into, what we're looking to get into the same frequency with to get this divine wisdom is the source of life itself, the power, the source of energy that created everything that we can conceive of in our own nature between the stars, the planets, the galaxy, the edges of the universe. That's the source that we want to tap into. This is the source that we want to work with, that we want to get our information from, that we want to fill up our cup. This this is the most difficult thing to explain, this essence and this feeling that I want to be able to transfer over to this like most mystical thing that happens in the middle of contemplation. And so the best way I can do this is that we break this down into these micro steps, which is really the art of mysticism, this nuancedness, this depth to it. And we can start to uncover our own selves within it so that we can step into this over and over again. And by doing that, by allowing ourselves to step into this over and over again, we expand ourselves, we expand our consciousness, and we expand what it is that we understand ourselves to be and how we can start to communicate these types of experiences, life itself, for other people. The mystic transforms into the artist and uses that spiritual fountain to merge with source of life, to find this limitless freedom. When we're in this place of contemplation that's so open, we're open, the ideas can come from anywhere, the possibilities are limitless. Everything becomes an idea, everything becomes inspiration. We love when we're in this place. And sometimes we have to work to get back to this place and have this openness in life because it's really easy to shut down and to feel disconnected or disenchanted. When we think about contemplation, we want to differentiate it from meditation. So contemplation governs multitudes of conscious states that happen like a mystical activity, and it's influenced by the temperament of us when we walk into our contemplation, like a lens that gets put on us. We also have to be aware of what state we're in when we're trying to access ourselves and we're trying to connect in this very deep, very raw place within our soul and how we want to look at things, because that also plays into how we're telling our own story and our own identity. And so the differentiation between meditation and contemplation is that when we're in contemplation, we're in more of a feeling state. We are in more of long forms of quietude and peacefulness. And this sort of rapturous love of beingness sort of happens. And the best way I think I can explain it is if you've ever been in nature, let's say either in the mountains or at the beach, and there's just this moment where you really just feel nature. You feel the wind, you hear the birds, hear the waves, you can smell the salt air coming at you, and you're just in the middle of this symphony of activities happening, and you're a part of that. And there's this peace that comes over you. There's this sort of like love for Mother Nature and all of nature that comes over you. And there's this openness that happens. And you're tapping into something deeper. And this is where thoughts can kind of come in that can electrify us. This is where visions can come in, where we start to hear like deep guidance and it's turned on. It's turned on in such a way that we can't ignore it, we can't deny it, and we have a really difficult time explaining the level of depth, the level of importance and significance that it had on us to somebody else because they haven't experienced that. And so this is where I find this beautiful blend between the mystic and the artist, because like even a mystic, there's just this deep desire to want to share it. And as a creative, as an artist, you have all of the tools to do this. And so when we train ourselves to tune in and tune inward, we're giving ourselves spiritual attention, like we give ourselves physical attention, mental attention, emotional attention. We pay attention to ourselves and our needs. We need to give time to our spiritual attention. And when we give our spiritual attention to ourselves, we start to lift up into new levels of perception. And so it's this sort of narrowing perception where we lose our knowledge of the external worlds and almost in like a trance state, we're consumed in this new level of awareness and reality. We transcend time and space. And it's this transcendental stage that has this feeling of energized enthusiasm, and it illuminates us. It illuminates our heart. And we can shut the mind down. We can put the to-do list down. We can put the daily thoughts down. And if anything interrupts, it shouldn't. But if some other thoughts come in, we can shut them down. Like we're in this trance state where we're coming into this place that's in this deeper power and this deeper knowing. There's a quietness that comes through in a way where we allow whatever to come in and we're connecting to one true source. And I think that's also really important because we want to make sure that we're connecting to the right source of power, the right source of energy, because there's lots of energy out there. And we want to make sure that we're tapping into the purest, truest source of energy, if you understand what I'm saying. When we're able to tap into a deeper source, a deeper place within us, it is both the spiritual well and the creative well. This is where we fill up our essence of being, that vibrancy of life that you just can't quite pinpoint, that way in which you can just have a cup of tea and read a book by a fire and feel cozy at home. You can walk along the beach and just feel satisfied, like those little moments in life where everything is just peaceful and calm. being able to tap into that and then go even further into this place of really understanding the meaning of life in all of the senses. It's not only just specific thoughts or a specific action, but it's the whole of it all. And that's the blend, right? When we're getting into this wholeness of life, when we're getting into the all of life and the all of beingness, and we start to shed away our own personality, our own persona, our own identity, because we're really just a reflection of the divine, we're a reflection of each other, we're parts of each other, and we can start to see the matrix above how everything works. We can start to see the tethering and the strings that are all attached between us like the matrix, like there's multiple matrices. It's not just one. You can't get out of a matrix. You're just going to go into another one. You live in one. We live in a multitude of them. And being able to see that on multiple levels and being able to articulate that for the masses, it's a big deal. However you do that, the fact that you do it for yourself is a big deal. In this state of contemplation, in just this understanding and just this beingness, there's a union that is a connection between thought, will, and love. And so it's our thoughts that are in alignment with our emotions and how we're open in our heart, and that this willingness to be here, this willingness to give this attention to something other, but that's also something within. So then you start to see how it all works within you. And so when we're in this beautiful alignment, when we're in this alignment with our thoughts, our mind, our emotions, our feelings, our heart, our will, we start to see the real beauty of life. We start to make contact with it. We start to sit and be on that frequency of life, like the way the light comes through the window, the breeze coming through the window, the way in which everything around your environment is taking place, the birds chirping, all the little things. And so when we act with our entire person, with our entire being in this alignment, this fusion starts to take place. And we start to act in this mystical love. And when we start to act in this entireness of ourselves, in this fullness of being, we're fully integrated, we start to embody this fusion. And then we start to work in this action of mystical love. We start to embrace this love of life, this essence of life, because we are one with it. And so it's almost like this mystical transformation, this alchemy that happens. And so we move with mystical love. We move with this high reverence of love itself, of life itself. And so when we start to hear, see, and understand information from the other, like the intuition kicks in, the deep knowing kicks in, the visions kick in, and we're in this heightened place and we know how to get into this heightened place, this is where we make decisions. This is where we get information, and this is where we take action from. And this is potent. This is potent type of energy. And we love this type of energy. And I'm pretty sure you've been here before. We're now just putting language to it. And these little micro steps are what make little ideas come to life because we understand the importance of it when they come in. We don't brush them off. We don't let the inner critic win. We don't allow for self-sabotaging because we know how potent this is. And so when we're in mystical love, we're actually feeding our soul. We're feeding ourselves an aspect of ourselves, the purest, greatest intention of love. This is the ultimate self-love. We want to bring in beauty. We want to bring in things that are true. We want to bring in things that are beneficial to us. And it's this concentration of attention that we pour into ourselves and that single focus where we merge with this knowingness of who we are and what we have been given insight in our own wisdom and everything that we stand in this integrity. It's through this emergence that we have a stronger sense of self and we have a stronger sense of our purpose in the world. We have a stronger sense of our own wisdom and how we can navigate ourselves. This is full embodiment so that now when we start to move, we're moving through soul-led decisions. So these deeper levels of consciousness that we start to apply, we start to expand, allows us to experience things beyond the veil, the things that are unseen, the things that are unknown. And we're able to start to look at the universe, the galaxy, the cosmos, and we're starting to comprehend and expand even more of how all of this works together. And through that contemplation, we start to expand ourselves. We start to expand our own energy because of the sense of what we can fully become aware of. And so it's in this place, as we feel fully expanded, as we're connecting, as we're comprehending, as we're contemplating this, the place that we have in life, we're able to open up into this flow, into this creative flow, natural flow of life that everyone talks about being in flow state, because we're literally connecting to the flow of the universe. Like we're connected to nature, the way in which it has a different speed to it, the way in which it flows through. The natural course and the cycles is what we're connecting and getting into. And while humans have a much faster pace, we're aligning ourselves into that flow and allowing the organicness through contemplation, through quietness, through movement, through the subtleties, the calmness, the peacefulness, to have a house open up, to have a space open up for all of these insights to drop into, and that you can hold them. And so that it opens up your own capacity in your own life. When you're stretching your own creativity, you're able to hold more. You're able to think on bigger levels. You're able to look at strategically putting things together that you never thought you could before. And it's a mental exercise. It's an emotional exercise. It's a spiritual exercise. It's a physical exercise. You're using everything within you to go within and to figure out this beautiful, beautiful whole system and operating system and how you work and what's your full potential and what are you so excited about and where can you go and what can you do and how can you put it all together, and that you know none of it because it's all completely foreign and you just take it one step at a time going through these layers. And so this is divine creation. This is the dance and the way that we participate and we become co-creators. This is that exchange that we have where we are a student of the divine and we're listening and we're paying attention. And then we hear, we see, we feel, we know, and we take that information and we turn it into our own wisdom and we do something with it. And we might share that. And so that others will be able to expand upon that knowledge as well. And you start to see how everything works together like a quilted fabric. And we're all just threads together in one big matrix blanket. And this is where fusion starts to happen. This is where we're fusing ourselves within the flow of life. This is where we're always tapping into that stream of consciousness that is the stream of spirituality, that is the stream of creativity, this effervescence of information that's always running, always filling us up from an energetic level that transforms and translates and communicates in different ways to us. And so it allows us to be limitless and free. And it allows us to have infinite possibilities because we can see so much. And we allow ourselves to start opening up doors to new possibilities because we can create anything. We just need to have a vision. And then through that vision, through that knowing, through that understanding, through that faith, through that strength, we can move forward. It's in this contemplative act that high levels of perception and presence with this source of life. This is where the poets get their visions. This is where the philosophers get their intuition. This is where we get glimpses of hope. And this is where hints to new doors open for us. And so contemplation now becomes a place for us to be in this state of purity, of clarity, of radiance above our logical mind. And it's a place that you really can't force. You really have to relax into this and just allow. We can't force the great ideas to come through. We can't force inspiration to happen. We have to allow it. And a lot of times we have to shift what we're doing into something else so that something can come in, right? We have to put the problem solving down and go off and have a free moment. We allow the logical mind to quiet and we just go play and have fun. Play and have fun. We relax. It's really what that is. No one wants to hear that. And we allow for things to come in. We allow for things to settle. We allow for stuff going on in the unseen to work itself out and deliver us a message for us to contemplate, reflect, and understand who we are, because we have a lot of great things that we are capable of doing. And it's not even about potential. Like you already are capable of doing all of these things. It's just a matter of going within and getting into this beingness of self and how much you are here for a reason. And you have this purpose of just taking those ideas and putting them out. Like that is the purpose and the journey. these two things. And it's through contemplation. It's through contemplation you're going to get your biggest, best, brightest insights and visions, your most deepest, profound knowing of self, your most exalted experiences with the cosmos, because you opened up, because you directed special time to go within, because you are so important, and you allow for the openness to come through. And there will be your creative wisdom every time. You have so much wealth, you have so much depth and so much knowledge, and I'm so excited to see what it is that you put out into the world. I have a program coming up December 12th called Into the Mystic. If you would like to get on the wait list to get information about that, you can do so below. There's also some programs, some self-led courses if you'd like to explore more, and also how to work with me one-on-one. I'm so excited that we're here together going through this journey. Thank you all for being here. Until next time, take care.